It's brown, it's weirdly famous, it's the one and only. Today we're drinking Newcastle Brown Ale. Hi guys, it's Jim here from Dr. Tankenstein, and today we're drinking Newcastle Brown Ale, the one and only. This beer I got for £1.70 from Tesco, but you can't not find this beer. They sell this beer everywhere. Like I say, it's weirdly world famous. It comes in at 4.7% with a mighty 18 IBUs, which I absolutely love. I don't know why, I always get a real kick out of these beers that you look at their IBUs and they're like sub 20. I just love it. I think in a world obsessed with IBUs, it's great when some breweries just don't give a shit. So 18 IBUs, 4.7%. This is an English brown ale. I would say it's a traditional English brown ale, but it's been around for so long now that I think that they can basically do what they want. It's called Newcastle Brown. I think nobody really minds if it's a brown ale still or not. But an English brown ale anyway, just some facts for you. So an English brown ale is kind of like the big brother of a mild. So a mild and a brown ale, kind of like two sides of the same coin. It's just a brown ale is a bit stronger than a mild. So mild is about 3%. Brown ale comes in, 4 to 5% traditionally. So as the name suggests, they're brown. They have a lot of residual sweetness. So, that 18 IBUs on the low end of the bitterness scale would allow for a lot of residual sweetness left in there. And the English examples, not so much the Americans, because I've had some beautiful American brown ales. The English examples of brown ales tend to have very low to no hop character. So these guys really are defined by their malt bill, which, funnily, so I've been drinking that, confession, I've been drinking this beer for much longer than I should have been. Certainly much longer than the law said that I should have been. As a gigging teenager in bars and pubs, I used to, this was my go-to drink as a youngster. But when I started brewing, I looked at the ingredients on this and saw that it had glucose syrup in it. And as a kind of, as a rebellious young lad, I guess I got a bit like, glucose syrup, it's not even real beer. If it's not all great, if it's not all malt, I don't care. This is rubbish. I think I was wrong. Let's find out. Okay, we're in the glass. Now, I've kept this cold. If I was drinking any other brown ale, I might like it a little bit warmer. This one, I'm keeping cold because that's how you drink it, okay? That's just how you drink it. Now, you can see exactly how much of this I'm drinking because it comes in a clear bottle. Everyone's favorite way to consume a beer, out of a clear glass bottle. Now, the color actually is very brown. It's brown. It's a brown beer. It's a brown ale, I guess. If we were in any other glass, which, I guess I should get better glasses, this would still have a great head on it. It had a great head when we started. It's just kind of dissipating now. It looks like it's trying to hold on to the head though. So brown head. Now, this has that kind of traditional English ale scent. So when you crack it, you can smell it. And what that is for some reason I just smelled that and it reminded me of pepperoni. That's probably just a weird thing I'm going through right now. Yeah, so what it is, it's that traditional, I mean, I have zero information on the ingredients of this other than what I said earlier. It contains glucose syrup and barley malt. What that is those traditional English hops. So like a Goldings hop, for example, or like a Northern Brewer bittering hop. They have like that spicy aroma to them, that spicy kind of character. Not spice like, you know, it's hot, but, you know, spice like spices, that kind of thing. So that's what you can smell here. Yeah, and as you know, if you give it a sniff like I just did, it really comes through. Okay, we know it's brown. We know it smells spicy. Let's drink this thing. God damn those memories. Yeah, I haven't had this beer in a very long time, but it's, you know, I like it. So that low bitterness, I obviously didn't know that in the past when I was drinking it. It surprises me because it feels very crisp in the mouth, obviously. Very well carbonated. And by that, I don't mean it's got loads of carbon dioxide in it. I mean, it's well carbonated. It's exactly as carbonated as it needs to be. So let me go back in there because I lost myself in nostalgia then. Yeah, not a lot of hop flavour. What I'm going to say about the hop flavour, and I hate to say this, I hate to use this word because people massively overuse this word, but I think it's a little bit true here, and it's not a bad thing. This beer is light struck, which means there are certain compounds in beer, in hops, hop-derived compounds in beer that react to light. So that's why if you have a beer in a clear bottle, well, it's basically why people don't put beer in clear bottles anymore. So these compounds are sulfur compounds, and they do give it a slight sort of, either, as is the nature of sulfur, an egginess, which I've yet to taste in a beer. People claim it. What I perceive more as light struck flavour is like a garlicky, oniony taste. Now that's ever so slight though, but that's what the hop flavour is. It's that sort of garlicky, oniony taste, and maybe it even compounds with the spiciness that I mentioned earlier. Maybe it even marries well with that, but it is there. It does have that character. So, you know, I hate to say it, but it's there. But that's not why we came to a brown ale. We didn't come to a brown ale for the hops. We came for the malt bill, god damn it. It's very understated. I think the carbonation talks more than most parts of this. Those 18 IBUs are working hard because it's not super cloyingly sweet. But it's very, very, very caramelly. So if you imagine on the spectrum of sugar, like I've mentioned before, I think in a previous similar beer actually, I guess. If you imagine the spectrum of sugar from white sugar right through to treacle, you kind of pass through all these stages along the way, and caramel is sort of the first slightly brown version of sugar that you come to, and that's what we're getting here. So we're just getting it's sweet, don't get me wrong, it is sweet, but it's just on the toasty side of sweet. That's the malt bill, the malt character, sorry. So we've got spicy aroma, brown colour, obviously, very well carbonated, spot on carbonation, light struck, I guess, but not a bad thing, and caramel. So this beer, Newcastle Brown Ale, was first developed in Newcastle, England, back in 1927, I believe. Since then, it's had a bit of a journey around. I remember reading the history of it, and it was once brewed in Newcastle, and then it took a massive journey over the river to Gateshead. And I can imagine everybody kicking off at that, even though it probably only went 2 miles down the road. I can imagine that was a really big deal. Now, this beer is brewed in Tadcaster, which is kind of much further down the M1 in North Yorkshire, which is posh Yorkshire, but you know, that's fine. It's brewed by John Smiths for Heineken. I believe Heineken own this beer now. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. But this beer has travelled all around the world, and I still find it amazing. I was watching, hands up, I was watching an episode of Hell's Kitchen the other night, the Gordon Ramsay TV show, and one of the people on that was drinking a bottle of Nuki Brown, and I just thought that is crazy that this beer that I used to drink back as a rebellious teenager, like people in America drink Newcastle Brown Ale. I just think that's mind-blowing. Maybe it's not as weird as I think it is, but I think that's a really cool fact. I did hear a while ago, and this may be, you know, folklore or whatever, but Newcastle Brown Ale is also brewed in Mexico. Like I say, this is allegedly brewed in Mexico. And it's brewed in Mexico so that on the American bottles of Newcastle Brown Ale, they can say that it's imported. Obviously with the idea that it's imported from Newcastle, when in fact it's imported from Mexico, but they don't have to say that. That's what I heard. But this beer is a bit of a legend. It's, like I say, it's travelled all the way from Newcastle to Gateshead and beyond. And it's really cool. It's so much more. It has the worst website in the world. Please go to their website, and I dare you to spend more than 30 seconds on the website. There is nothing on that website. Why they have that website, I don't know. The only reason they have that website is so that nobody makes a Nuki Brown website that's just got, you know, I don't know, bad stuff on it. I was going to say some bad stuff then, but I don't want people to take the soundbite. Yeah, the only reason they've got this is so that no one makes a Nuki Brown porn website, I guess. Go there, please, because it has to win the award of the worst website in the world. Yeah, I love this beer. It's an institution. It's world famous. It deserves it. Okay, my trip down memory lane is coming to an end. It's time that I sum up Newcastle Brown Ale, Nuki Brown, as I used to call it, as I ordered a bottle and paid £2.10 for it as a 15-year-old boy. Okay, so Nuki Brown, it's brown, obviously. Glass bottle, everyone's favourite. And yeah, well carbonated. Obviously, when you're drinking out in public, you don't pay attention to things like this, but this is probably, I mean, get a bottle yourself, please, and just let me know what you think of the carbonation. I think the carbonation is working its arse off in this beer. Spicy aroma, light struck, I don't know. As the beer is now warming up, I'm realizing that maybe I should have drunk it a little bit warmer all along, because the caramel notes of the malt bill are really coming through. It's really, really, it's a real nice, I won't say silky because the carbonation, like I say, makes it kind of spiky, not spiky, gives it a harsh edge, but the sweetness in it is really, really lovely. And that's probably what they were going for. Like I say, it's a brown ale. You don't come to a brown ale an English brown ale for the hops. So that's exactly where they wanted it to be. So that's what we've got. Floral, spicy aroma. And then I'm not going to bark on about the light trick again. There's a marriage between the caramel flavoured malt bill, caramel forward malt bill, the awesome carbonation, and that spicy light struck flavour coming from the hops. If you're interested in this beer, head down to anywhere. Tesco, the Co-op, your local corner shop's probably got a bottle of this stacked away somewhere. Grab a bottle of Newcastle Brown and let me know what you think. Also, let me know what facts you get. They usually, or used to, put little facts on the back, so let me know what your fact is. Yeah, get down there and get yourself one of these. It's not trendy, it's not cool, it's just the one and only. And that's obviously the song that I'm choosing for this beer. Chesney Hawkes, the one and only, sums this up perfectly. It's just Newcastle Brown. Normally I tell you to, if you like it, head down to your local bottle shop and grab yourself a bottle of something else. If you like Newcastle Brown, just get another bottle. Until then, guys, cheers.